On air yet? Yes. Hey guys, what's up? Mel and I are here with another episode of the Batgirls show, and we have a lot to talk about. So yeah, if you are joining us live, you can ask us questions in the comments below, or if you're on
hmm
Twitter, use the hashtag AskTheBatgirls, and we will happily answer any questions that you have for us. So yeah, what's up, Mel?
what is up? It's been well, it's not really been that long since we've talked, but it's been a while since we did a hangout, right? So
Yeah,
I want to say like a month.
I think it has been, yeah.
Yeah. Um, what has been happening? Oh my God. I feel like everything and nothing, like everything goes out of your head at once.
Yeah.
Life is pretty normal at the minute. I can't really complain. Yeah, busy at work and then just trying to fit in my comic reading and my videos and life and sometimes winning and sometimes failing, basically. That's where we're at. That's
So,
where we're at.
hey, comics.
Yeah, I know. I like this week was a fail for comics, but I've got plenty of stuff we could talk about, so
Yeah. My
I'm sure
week,
you've got plenty of comics.
I have a lot of comics, but it's been a fail in the sense that this week has been weird. It's been a long week and then like a very busy week in the same place, I guess. So I've only read two of my comics, but I have read a bunch of stuff since the last time we talked, so we can kind of talk about that.
Yes.
So I know that you just started Preacher, so I feel like I want your thoughts on it because I love it and I'm almost done with it. But as somebody
Mm.
who has just started it, what do you think?
Oh man, so I'm like 50 pages into book one, which is like really, what's that, like two issues? It's
Yeah.
if that. So it's early days. I'm definitely liking it. It's so hard to describe. Now I understand the struggle that you had when you were talking about it. You're like, it's so hard to describe. You just need to pick it up and read it. And yeah, I think the characters, I mean, so far I haven't really connected with them yet because they're kind of doing the world building. They're kind of explaining the setup and the story and kind of what happened to Jesse, I think, at the very start with is it Genesis? Someone
Yeah.
comes down from someone comes down from the skies and inhabits him, from what I can tell, and he becomes possessed and he's a preacher. So there's something happening there, and the church just burnt down. So 50 pages in, there's a lot happening already, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out. So there's Tulip, and then who's this other guy? I don't even know the
Cassidy?
guy. Yeah, yeah, Cassidy. So they're all sitting around the table and they're sort of talking, and then we figure out the Tulip used to be with Jesse, and there's all this stuff happening, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around it at the minute. But I can tell that it's a slow grow for a reason. Like it's setting it up because it's going to be epic. So I'm definitely sticking with it. I am like the first book is like 350 pages or something. I don't know. It's big.
Yeah. I was the same way. It's kind of confusing at first because there's a lot kind of thrown at you right away. And then, because I remember when I started the first book, I was like real confused, and then I got to the middle of it, and I was like, okay, like I like these characters a little bit more now. And then I got to the end, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I must read all of this. So I think I was the same way as you are now, where it's like interesting, but you're just not totally hooked yet. Something's weird with your sound. I can't hear you.
Ah,
There you
that's
go.
called the mute button. I'm really good at life. Um,
Yay!
I just
Like,
hit it. I just kind of hit it against the like the edge here, and I'm like, bah, 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 bah. So I think we were talking about it at some point, or I was watching a videos. I'm not sure, but I think you said something about Preacher that I'm glad you said, because it was one of those things that when it happened, I'm like, it makes sense. Because you said that the start of each of the books is a little bit, like, takes a little bit to get into, and you just have to push through it because it becomes, like, really, really amazing. And so, because it's like, I can tell that it's going to be really good. I know that it's going to be really good. but at the moment it's not that amazing because it has to, like, you have to understand what's going on. You can't just be thrown in and expected
Yeah.
to get it. So, yeah, I think maybe around the 100, 150 pages mark, it'll probably get really right into it.
Yeah. I'm
But
so
yeah,
excited
it's gonna be good.
for you.
I can see it, like you're at the start of your adventure.
I think it's like how everybody when I first started reading it, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I envy you because you're reading it for the first time." I feel like that's how a lot of people are when you read like their favorite comic or something. It's like
Yeah.
reading it for the first time, and I remember when I read it for the first time.
You
So
kind of get jealous. You're like, I can't
yeah,
believe you get to feel all of that again.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
I want to go back and read the first book again.
How many books are there? Are there four? No. Four
6.
volumes? Six. Okay. Wow, they're going to be big.
Yeah, I'm looking at all of mine. That. They're about the thickness of leaving Megalopolis, or however you say that.
I think you nailed it. Megalopolis?
Yeah, and
Megalopolis.
you read that. Look at that segue. You see that segue?
Oh my God, you're so sweet, Casey Soul. I did. I read Leaving Megalopolis by Gail Simone because it's like our favorite.
Yes.
Um, and it's such like it's such an interesting idea. So the idea behind it is it's like a post-apocalyptic town, Megalopolis, and it's where all these superheroes used to live, and something has happened to them, and they've turned and they've gone bad, and essentially they end up, instead of saving the people, they're destroying these people and killing them and feeding off them, and it almost becomes like this zombie-esque vibe where people are just trying to survive and the zombies are actually superheroes. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. And it's a little bit dark. Like, there are people trying to survive this, and so what they'll do is they'll sacrifice one of the people, like they'll chain them up against like a lamppost for the superheroes to feed off so that they're left alone. Like, it becomes really quite dark that way. But I was saying to Stacey off air, like, I think, I'm not sure, and I'd like if someone can clarify, because when I was reading it, it didn't indicate that it was a volume one, but I think that it probably is. I don't think that this story is finished. But I think this was not written very recently, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me go grab my
Actually,
copy real fast.
okay. Sorry to get up. Thank you.
Let's see. It was. This is the book.
Oh
If
my
anyone
God, it's beautiful.
book. Yes, I have not read this yet. I fail. It is on my list of things
No,
to read. And now
yeah,
that
you
you
should.
summarized it for me, I'm like, I'm reading this tonight.
Yeah, yeah, you'll definitely love it. And some of the art, like the one pages in it, I'm just like, oh my God, it's beautiful.
It says the copyright is 2013, 2014. So this must have been a recent series.
Mm.
So
And it
yeah.
looks like there might be a page in there actually. It certainly was in the digital edition where there's like 2 or 3 pages of just like really finely print names. And I'm hearing this was some sort of like I think it was a Kickstarter or something like that, which to me is strange because like Gail Simone's kind of a big deal, you know.
Yeah. I wonder if it says in my.
Actually, I might look it up while you're doing that.
Yeah,
The
it
Google
says,
machine will tell me.
because on this thing, on this page, it says, down there, it says Kickstarter Standard Edition.
There you go. There you
So
go.
you are correct in that. So I wonder if there is going to be a Kickstarter for Volume 2. Because if so,
I
we
would.
could support that.
I'd be like, take my money. I need
Yeah,
volume two. I need to know what happens.
all
You
of it.
cannot leave Bill hanging.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
So,
All
so what
right.
have you been reading though? Because I know that you've been reading a ton since we last spoke. I've seen your reviews.
Yeah, so many things. Mainly, I'm just trying to finish up Preacher, and I'm like on the last book. And it's like how I was with The Walking Dead. I don't want to finish it because I don't want it to be over.
Read one page a night.
I'm like, okay. So I've been reading that. I read the first volume of Sex Criminals and the second book, the second volume of Sex Criminals, and really enjoyed the first volume. Like, read
Yes.
it real fast, and I was like, this is amazing. The second one, and I don't know if it's because the first one was so amazing and I didn't have like a waiting period in between the two of them, but the first one in the beginning felt real flat for me for some reason, and then it kind of picked up again by the end, and I was as excited as I was when I started the series.
Yeah.
I put it on my pull list, so I'm going to continue to like read it, and maybe it's something where it's better one issue at a time than in trade, which I find interesting because I think most things read better in trade, but that's
Mm.
the first thing so far that I think might read better in single
It's
issues.
so true, isn't it, that some things read better as singles and some are better as trade. Like, I think that's come up. Like, we haven't really talked about that as a subject, but there are certainly some comics that come to mind straight away that I'm thinking that'd be better as a trade, like Bitch Planet. Better as a trade. Yeah.
Very much
But
so, yeah.
yeah. But I kind of like we talked a little bit about sex criminals on our podcast,
Yeah.
which second episode is up, so you can hear us talk about that.
Let's we should plug that now since
We should get it out of the way.
yeah.
So it is called the Batgirls podcast, and you can find it on iTunes at the minute. And you can get where are we linking it at the moment? Just basically at our Twitter accounts, right?
I think so, yeah. I think it's on the Post Party at Spago's Twitter. I think you linked it there, and then
Oh
on
yeah.
and I think I retweeted it as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can find it on a variety of places.
Yeah, you can just search the Batgirls podcast and it will come up. So just do that.
Yeah.
um, it's the easiest way to do it. Um, So I think on the last episode we did talk a little bit about sex criminals because I felt conflicted with it. Like I loved it. Part of me just wanted to absolutely love it, and I had really high expectations when I first started reading it because I guess when books are like overhyped, and so
Yeah.
like you buy into the hype and you're like this is going to be so good, and you read it and you're like it was good, but it wasn't like I wouldn't hype it.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it was just a bit too much for me, like too overhyped. And so yeah, when I first read it, I was like, it was cool. And then I think like the storyline just left it a little bit flat for me at the end. I don't know why, but I just didn't get what I wanted to get out of it. But I haven't read volume two, and then you say that you didn't think it was as good, so I'm kind of curious. I'm
Yeah,
curious, like,
weird that you think that the last half of the first one fell flat, because I think the first half of the second one falls flat. How funny.
oh wow, okay. So maybe
Yeah.
I need to read the second volume and we can just compare.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
All
maybe I should
right.
reread them all together.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Because it's
Yeah.
been a little while since I read volume one. It's maybe been like 3 months,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. So if I read it now, I've had a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I wonder if that changes my perception on it as well.
I wonder. So I would say
Mm.
maybe read volume two without, because you already know what happens. Because since I
Yeah.
read it right after me, yeah, we're doing a comic book experiment. This is
This is how we
all.
roll. I love it. Yeah, okay, well that's what I'll do. So volume two, let me take some notes from this show because I have some actions from this meeting.
Yeah. Yes.
um, all right, so Sex Criminals Volume 2, done.
Awesome.
I have to get my hands on a copy. I'm so broke at the moment, that's why I haven't bought a whole lot. I'm
Yeah.
just like, comics
I,
are costing me too much.
it's yeah. I know. So I have WonderCon next weekend, and I'm not gonna be able to pick up my pulls for like a month because I just know I'm gonna go crazy at WonderCon because it's WonderCon. Like,
As you should as well. Like you can't
yeah,
you can't just hold back. Like
yeah,
there have
no,
been times where I've had like cons down here and I'm like, I could go, but I know that I've got like $60 and that's going to be like lasting me for a certain period of time. So I'm like, I'm not going because there's
Yeah.
nothing worse than going to a convention and not being able to buy anything.
Yeah.
That's like that's
It's
like putting a kid in a candy store and saying you can't have any of it. But you
yeah.
can look. You can look at all of it. You can't taste it. You can't have it.
Yeah.
Like,
That
mm-mm.
that is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's horrible.
it's like when my friends get to Disneyland and they post pictures, and I'm like, I'm right here, and I'm not there with them.
I know. At least you're in the same state.
This is true. Or in the
I
same
know.
country.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rub it in. I know. I wish I was at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Um, we have some questions, Stacey. So, um, on our on our Twitter account, the Batgirls Show,
Yes.
um, Chris asks, Chris Vint, our friend,
Yeah.
asks, what would be one comic that was really hyped to be great and you didn't like? Sex Criminals Volume 1. Actually, it's not fair. It's not that I didn't like it. Um, that was actually a good segue, though.
Oh,
Do you have one that comes to mind immediately?
yeah, Kingdom Come.
Oh.
Cause
Have we
yeah,
talked about you reading this? I knew you were going to.
I don't think on this show I've said it in other, but so I had to read Kingdom Come for school, and I don't know. I love my writing for comics class. That's what I'm taking this
Mhm.
semester, and so I'm like, okay, like my teacher's really cool. The last book, and I think this is why I didn't like it, because the book before that we read was The Last of the Innocent, which is a criminal volume by Ed
Mhm.
Brubaker, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. So I think
Yeah.
when you go from like a super amazing independent film noir Sin City type book to then superheroes, for me anyway, because I'm not loving superheroes at the moment so much,
Yeah.
it
Too
just
much
kind
of
of
a jump.
yeah, it was like, nah. So
Yeah. And you
really,
very much have to be in the frame of mind, right?
yeah, I very much so, and it's one of those books like I loved God Loves Man Kills, the X-Men book,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's another book that's super hyped up on the Marvel side, and it's one that like if you don't like it, people are like, how do you not like this? I feel like that,
Mhm.
but for some reason, I just Kingdom Come. I don't know if it's because it was like Superman, old Batman, older Wonder Woman. I don't know what it was, and the art was weird, and it's Alex Ross, and so people were like, "How do you not like that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just didn't love it." So I feel
Yeah.
like, but I've also heard for people who agree with me, they're like, "Yeah, I feel like that's a book that's super, super, super hyped, and it's because it's so hyped that they ended up not liking it," which I think is interesting.
It's true. Overhype is a thing. Like it's why I probably get a little bit I don't know, like when Craig was reading Batgirl and I'm like all of a sudden I started freaking out. And you're like, why are you freaking out? I'm like, there's a lot of pressure and I kind of feel like I'm somehow responsible for overhyping things at times. Like
Mhm.
I know I definitely talk about my favorites a lot. And then
Yeah,
in hindsight when someone picks up a copy, I'm like, hang on, have I hyped it too much? Like, I don't want someone to read it and have that same experience of, oh, okay, it's not as good as she said it was going to be. So, because I've had that happen a few times, probably more with novels. I used to read a lot of novels, but definitely in comics, All Star Batman and Robin by Frank Miller was definitely one of those for me. Yeah, I I have nothing nice to say about that comic. The art was beautiful. That's what I can say. Jim Lee, phenomenal. Like probably one of my favorite illustrators of all time. He's great. So I can't say anything bad about Jim Lee, but the writing,
real bad.
so bad, so
Oh yeah.
bad. And I'm not even a feminist, and it offended me. I'm
Oh wow.
like seriously. Yeah, I mean, look, it's probably a fair segue, but I mean, like, my views. I'm pretty liberal.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to piss me off. And I was reading it, and I was getting mad as I was reading it. I was getting really angry. Actually, I wouldn't mind reading it again just to see if I still get as angry because it was a little while ago I read it. Although
Yeah.
I don't think I want to put myself through it, to be honest. I really, I don't think I can take it. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's probably the biggest one for me. in
Yeah.
recent times.
Was it just the writing, like the female characters were written like super, super bad, or it was just really sexist, or like, because I haven't read it, so
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, all of the above. Like it was the females were written poorly, it was sexist, and Batman was written horribly. So, um, so I think the things to point out was Batman is a sociopath in it. He has no emotions, he has no feelings. He tells Robin to shut up like 14 times, and he's like slapping him around and like physically assaulting Robin, which is
huh?
not cool, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
not cool. Um, they have Black Canary working in a bar with like, I mean, look, Jim Lee is a great illustrator, but there's nothing to the imagination, and her boobs are just like Power Girl. They put Power Girl to shame. Like they're
Yeah.
out here, and there's hardly anything covering them. And so she's working in a bar, and all these guys are saying these horrible things to her, like calling her. I think. Look, I didn't make this up. This is a word. They called her love chunks. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
so they're calling her all kinds of stuff, and then so she ends up getting her own. She ends up like breaking some guy's jaw, I think. Um, but there's that, and then there's Wonder Woman who turns into like, I mean, Wonder Woman's a feminist, I get it, but she's a man hater in this, like nothing I've ever seen before.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just like I just didn't really have anything nice to say about any of the characters and the way they were written. A lot of people refer to it as the time Frank Miller kind of went on crack. Like some of his books are fantastic, and then this one was a little bit. This is why the series didn't continue because of the reception of this book. That being said, the people that love it hype it, and they're like, "You have to read it, you have to read it," and they'll swear by it. Which is why I picked it up. And then when I picked it up, I'm like, I have nothing good to say about it apart from the art. So yeah,
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 I don't think I would have even like picked it up just because I'm not a big Batman and Robin fan, but now I definitely
right.
want to pick it up because that
You
sounds
know what? I would love to know what you think about it. I would love it because I know how if I like knowing how I feel about it, I feel like I'd like to see a Stacy rant on it.
if I can find it like super cheap someday, I'll do that. I'll read it and then I'll be like, why?
I'm
Or
sure it's going cheap somewhere.
I'm sure. But how funny would it be if I like loved it? I'll be like, oh, I probably won't.
Oh, you know what? You would really surprise me if you did.
Yeah.
I won't say that you. I won't say that you absolutely won't, because you could surprise me. You could turn around and be like, "This is the best book that's ever been written," and I'll be like, "What? How is this? What is life?"
How is this possible? He,
Yeah, I would be really surprised.
I've stayed away from Frank Miller's like DC stuff. The only thing I think from him I've ever read was Sin City, and I loved that. So I think
Mm,
that's just kind of where I want to leave my Frank Miller because I thoroughly enjoy
I
Sin
can
City.
I can understand that. I did
Yeah.
read I believe he did year one as well, and I read that and I really liked that. I thought that was fantastic. So I know he can produce amazing work, but I've also seen the flip side of it where he kind of went, I don't know, he's kind of gone off a little bit AWOL, and
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I've heard. I've heard people because like when people like ask me like, "What have you read by him?" I'm like, "Sin City," and that's it. And they're like that's I think that's okay. But then they say
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like he did the Dark Knight, right?
yeah. The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, I
Oh
can't
wait, he probably
art
did
in
Dark Knight too.
yeah.
I tried the Dark Knight Returns because people kept telling me like it's such a staple. Like it's I think we talked about this actually. They're like you have to read it. It's like one of the Batman stories. And I'm like I got 30 pages in. I'm like I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not a real Batman fan. You know, I think that's in the context of how we were talking about it last time. Not a
Yes.
real fan if you don't read Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. I'm not a real fan either then.
No, no. I kind of prefer like I think the art was so distracting in it.
Yeah.
They had like one page would be split up into like I want to say like 16 small square panels. Like 16 is a lot, right? So like tiny little panels, and they try and put all this text in them, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
That, yeah. No.
It's really it's old school. It's old school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I guess
yeah,
so. Well,
yeah.
let's see. Are you you're reading No, you're not reading Walking Dead. You're like super behind on
Super
it.
behind. Super behind. You
Well,
saw my omnibuses in that photo that you sent me though. Oh, that I sent you with Daryl and Carol. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. I'm glad they are finally together on your shelf.
They are. They're right in front of my omnibuy. What's the plural? Omnibuses. I don't know.
On the
I
buy.
sound like I'm really dying. Omnibuy. Such a bimbo sometimes. Um,
I didn't think
um,
of it.
I just said it like I don't think that's a word. I don't know.
You
Whatever.
just made it one.
Um,
It is now a word.
I do that frequently as well. I'm like, what do you mean autocorrect? You don't know what I'm trying to say. Rude. Like,
Yeah.
it must just be an Australian word. Yeah, not really. um, yeah, I need to like pick up my socks and keep reading that because I'm pretty behind, like
Yeah.
really behind.
This week's issue was not my favorite. I don't know. I think it's just because Kirkman is starting his arcs on Outcast, like new arcs on Outcast and The Walking Dead. So it's
Mm.
kind of like
Do you think
plateau.
he's distracted?
I think it's just I don't know, maybe because he's in the writers room for the next season of Walking Dead right now, and then I'm pretty sure he's trying to get everything set up for Cinemax for
So
Outcast.
where is he not?
He's spread pretty thin, so I mean I didn't hate it because it's Walking
Mhm,
Dead, and I did enjoy it, and Michonne's like a pirate, which is
mhm,
awesome, and they kind of finally touch on like fishing and how because the humans haven't touched the ocean, like the sea life is just super abundant now since
mhm,
has died, so they left the sea alone and no pollution and stuff. So it's very interesting, and it's going to be an interesting new chapter. But overall, it was not my favorite, and it's kind of like the exact. I have the same feeling on it that I did with Outcast last
Oh,
week,
really?
where it was just. I mean, it's good, but it's just there wasn't a lot going on.
Is that an example, do you think, Outcast, of where the trade is better than the single issues?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe, and I think maybe Walking Dead as well. Except for the last two
Mm,
issues of Walking Dead, I really did like. I think when it's the start of a new arc, it reads
mhm.
better in trade.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Because it's always a slow, yeah, you always get that slow, like, for the first, I even want to say, like, sometimes 2 to 3 issues of that arc, stories in that arc, it's always going to be a little bit slow, right? Especially with something that's like a drama, predominantly. Yeah, that's
Yeah, with
tough.
character development and yeah, because we get some more insight into Michonne in this one, which is interesting. That's fun. I don't want to spoil it for you though, because you are not caught up, so you have no idea. I could
I
say
am like years behind it. I I think where we last spoke, I've not progressed. I've not I've not picked it up. So I think I've read like the first 3 volumes and I really truly need to reread them. Like it's been a while.
yeah. I want to like go back and reread. I want to reread the second one because that's kind of where the show is going. So I think maybe during the hiatus,
Mm.
because the show ends this Sunday. I'm not
Oh,
prepared for this.
sorry, my face was like, "What? You mean
Yeah,
for for the
for the
season,
season,
right?"
like a 90-minute finale.
Okay.
I'm just like,
I thought you meant like ends.
no.
Ends. I'm like, "What?
No, because the
I
comics.
didn't hear this news."
I no, no. Just the season, but it seems like it's ending because for 5 months we won't have more Walking Dead.
It's a long time, isn't it? Long time. It's actually not too bad between seasons. Like some shows are like a long time.
Like Sherlock.
How
Sherlock
long
is
is that between seasons?
it's only 3 episodes because it's like each episode is like a movie, and then
Yeah.
it's been like a year and a half. Yeah. So I mean, and anybody who watches Sherlock who's watching this understands the pain because it's just like it's so good, and then
I need to actually. I was starting to get in. Well, I say starting to get into Sherlock. I didn't really give it a fair chance. I want to. I really want to watch it, but then the pilot was like, yeah, an hour and a half. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's a
I didn't
movie.
sign up for a movie. I didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch a TV show, not a movie. So I need to. And the thing was, is like the part that I did watch, I really enjoyed. I just need to now that I've got a clear expectation of how much time I've got to give to it. I
Yeah.
just need to free up my calendar a little bit and sit and watch it. So, although now I've got Netflix in Australia, so I know.
Awesome.
Although I might have been watching the American version for like 18 months beforehand. Anyway, but
We won't
but
tell
we don't
anyone.
we don't know about that for sure. Um, but the Australian one is like nowhere near as good as the American one. It's just like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like they've got they only launched this week, last week, this week. I feel like my life has like gone really quickly in the last week, so I'm going to say it's been out for a week. There's no coincidence about that. I've just been like a zombie to Netflix.
Right.
Um, so yeah, the library is not really impressive at the minute, but they said they're gonna build on it in the next 3 months. So hopefully we get some really cool shows because like I miss out on a lot of things living out this way, which is a real shame because like in America everyone's like this is on right now, and I'm like, oh, okay, we might get it in 3 months. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. It's
So
pretty
then,
bad. Although.
do they
mm,
have Orange is the New Black on it?
They do, and I've seen it
Okay.
on my US subscription. Um, that show is freaking amazing.
Yeah. I'm so excited. The third season comes back in July.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah. So you might only have one season on yours then.
The Australian one has the two,
Oh, good.
which I was
Yeah.
really impressed. Yeah,
That's
I was
awesome. Yeah.
impressed about.
So yeah,
But I remember when season two came out, I think last June,
yeah,
July,
yeah.
and I binge watched it in like 48 hours. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to because like my Twitter because when they release all the episodes at once, like people will spoil it. So it's like you either
Totally.
watch it with everybody else or you get real spoiled.
Yeah. It's funny how it's changed the way we watch television, isn't it? Like, we've gone very much from this, like, one episode a week type thing to binge watching, and I'm all about binge watching
Me too.
because it's convenient. I can do it when I want to. I can watch a whole season in a weekend if I want to give up a weekend.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's good. It's the best way
Yeah.
to watch.
I agree. I'm the same way.
Mm, mm. Yeah. So I'm hoping we get some really good shows out here. They've got shows like Arrow and stuff like that on there. I've not really watched Arrow. Like I need to
Yeah.
start watching it, I think.
I watched the first season and because it's a CW show,
Mhm.
the
Okay,
acting
yeah.
is not great in some areas, and there's a lot of like it's very like soap opera-y in other areas. But
Yeah.
overall, I really liked the first season. I think the problem was I can't binge watch shows like that and then like go right to the next season. I need a break in between because it's just too much like
Too much show.
it's too much soap opera like teenage. I don't know. It's just too much.
Teenage angst.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so that probably leads me to a really good segue because a friend of mine was telling me that they're doing a TV show of witches, the comic witches.
Really?
Yeah, see, I'm so interested to see your face right now. And I'm just double checking the source because I'm pretty sure he said it was going to be on CW, and then I was not happy.
Maybe I just read
Unless I made that part up.
the last or the recent issue and it finally kind of well I say it kind of completes the first arc in a way. So
Uh-huh.
like it ties one elements of the story up and then it just kind of throws you right into a new arc. So I
Oh
am
my God, that's issue 5, right?
this is issue 5. I'm super excited to read issue 6. But like
Mm.
when I got to the end of this, I literally was like, why?
Oh
Why?
man, I need to read issue
Oh,
5. I've
Yeah.
only read the first 4 issues, so I'm hanging. Like, but
It
bro.
just came
So,
out. But if it, I don't know if that could be a CW show because it's real.
I
I don't
know.
know.
I'm trying to find the reference now because I'm wondering if I made it up. I don't think I did. I think it was like he said it was going to be on CW and that's why he wasn't happy. Um,
Unless it's like another show called Witches, but different.
no, it's like Scott Snyder's Witches. It's it's Witches with a Y.
Wow.
But I
Well,
haven't heard about this anywhere else, right? Like I don't know if I missed it.
I don't know. Let's see. As we look at our
Um,
phones.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, this is really great watching. I am aware. Um, I probably need to look that up and verify that. But yeah, that's what I heard because at first I was like, oh, it could be kind of cool, but then I was well with it before I knew it was CW. But then I kind of also think that part of the thing that makes Witches as incredible as it is it's the art. Like it's that beautiful like the splatter watercolor effects that they have throughout, the scratchiness of it, like all of that kind of thing that you can't replicate in a TV show.
Yeah.
So and then Sailor's a teenager, so then I'm scared they're just going to make it some teenage drama, and I'm just yeah, there's a lot of room for failure.
Yeah. Some things should just stay comics
I
and should.
agree. Yeah.
I think sometimes people look at comics as like storyboards for like film and TV, but not everything, like you said, like not all the art. Because I mean, if the art is an essential part of the story, like I do feel is the case in Witches, you're gonna
Mhm,
lose a lot of that element on a TV screen
mhm.
unless you're like you put in weird color and editing or something, which I don't think that they would do.
That could be cool though if they did it, but I don't think they would.
Yeah, I think the only way that that has been successful is like in the Sin City movies, which I have not seen yet because I'm really scared because I love the comics so much. But they're just, I mean, when you look at how they're shot and just it's like very gritty and black and white, and there's like real dark elements of red. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool, and I think that that might be the only case where those actually kind of succeeded in looking like a comic book but in a movie.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a yeah. I don't know. I'm really torn.
Yeah.
I'm really torn.
Maybe they'll. Well, I don't know. I'm really torn on Preacher being on AMC.
I've
Well,
heard your thoughts on that.
once you finish, once you finish the first book, then
Yeah,
we can discuss that on the next show.
definitely. Most definitely. I expect that. Yeah, because I know that you did talk a little bit about why you wouldn't be a fan of it because you didn't think. I don't know. I know. I think in general it's going to be really hard to turn into a TV show already.
Yeah, very much so. And it's Seth Rogen who's producing it, so I'm like, I don't know.
See, I love Seth Rogen, but I know. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny.
this is true. We have a
Yeah.
question. I just checked
Oh,
the
hang on. Oh,
girls
wait.
tag.
Yeah.
And Brendan, Matt Hammer,
Oh,
asks,
yes.
"Are you excited for WrestleMania?" I assume that's a you question because I don't watch
Because
wrestling.
you're like, what's a WrestleMania? Um, um, I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to actually. Uh, one of the girls that I used to know when I was in the pro wrestling circuit in Melbourne, um, is signed up to WWE at the moment, and she's like doing really well. I want to say she's doing really big things over there, and it is really big. But she's not like one of the big name wrestlers, but she goes under the name Emma, and I've known her since she was like 16 years old, so it's pretty exciting to see. Like I knew her for about. I was probably in that circuit for like 5 years. So we used to like when she wasn't wrestling, we'd hang out and we'd go in the front row of some shows and act like we didn't know the guys and just act like, fangirls just to put them off. Because, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool to sort of see her in TV, and I think she's going to be at WrestleMania, so that's pretty exciting. But I won't be buying the pay-per-view or anything like that. And truth be told, with the pay-per-views these days, I don't really bother. Like I loved it so much when I was younger, and these days I feel like they've marketed it more towards kids than they used to. Like they used to have like what they call the Attitude Era, which was like all really like quite risque and um, full of rebellion and all that kind of stuff. And I love the storylines. So for me, I was like, yes, this is so cool. This guy is like flipping the bed to his boss, and he still gets to keep his job. Everyone wishes they could have that. Um, and then yeah, these days it's kind of marketed more towards the kids. So my nephew loves it, and he's 11. But I find it difficult to love it, which is a bit sad. I'm more into like UFC these days.
Yeah. Which,
Violence.
yeah, well, we just had the Rousey fight where she like knocked that girl out in like what was it, like 15
14
seconds.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, something like
It was
that.
enough to Instagram the whole fight, which is so cool. Because I didn't buy the pay-per-view, but then yeah, I was like talking to a boyfriend afterwards, and he's like, "Yeah, they've got the whole fight on Instagram." I'm like, "I need to check it out." So
That's
yeah, it's pretty cool.
very cool. I don't know if we have
Yeah,
any other.
she's tough. So we got a comment as well from the Reverend, and he said Witches is going to be a movie. So I don't know if that changes. So I don't know where I got CW from. Clearly I made that up. I
You
am not a reliable source.
everyone who was watching that and heard us just went, "Oh my god!"
I know. I think maybe the conversation was like, it could be a cool show if it was on like HBO, but if
Oh,
it was on CW, could you imagine? I don't know. I don't know. Look, guys, I don't remember what I did yesterday. You're giving me far too much credit if you trust me to give you any actual reliable news. Like, that's not a thing that I do. So,
wow. Well, if it's a movie, I don't know. If it's too scary, I won't see it. I'm weird about that. I can
are
read
you
comics.
chicken?
I'm very chicken. I can read scary stuff, but I cannot watch it. So like
Really?
this scare. Have we not talked about this? Because I know you're a giant horror fan. But like this,
Giant horror fan.
yeah, the scariest movie I've ever seen was what's it called? No Vacancy with like Luke. No, no, that was the one that was the scariest. But I have seen Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
That one wasn't too bad, but No Vacancy, like it was horrible. Like I hated life. My friend forced me to watch it, and it has Luke Wilson and there's a girl Kate Beckinsale.
Is it
And
really a horror if it's got Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale? Oh, Kate Beckinsale maybe, but Luke Wilson?
but that's what I'm saying. Like no, it's gotta be scary. And I was like hiding behind my friend the entire time because it's like these people. I don't like killing. Like I say I don't like killing, yet I love The Walking Dead. So I
So,
like I like action. It's so weird because I love action movies. So like seeing a dude like get his leg chopped off, it's
mhm.
like that's fine as long as it's in an action movie. But if it's done in a horror movie and it's like there's a scary dude in a mask like doing it, I lose my shit and I don't know why.
Dude, that's so funny.
I
Like,
know.
at least you get that that's weird, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is, and like so, like for the first time last Halloween, I actually went into a haunt. Like we went to Not Scary Farm, which is Not Scary
Yes.
Farm, but they turn it into like super scary stuff, and like they have all
When
these
do
like
they do that?
they do that. So it was like we went on Thursday, the Thursday before Kamikaze. So they do it all. They do it all of October. So they turn Knott's Berry Farm into like a haunted thing, and it's after like a certain time of night because little kids aren't really allowed. And then they
Mhm.
do it to Universal Studios as well. They have Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Nights, and so like they have like that's where they have the Walking Dead mazes and stuff, which is super awesome. And I have a friend who worked there, and I never got to go into the Walking Dead maze because she wasn't working that one. Um,
Yeah.
so I got a mug from it, which I love. Um, so, like they turn all these things, and so my friends were like, I was with them, and they're like, we want to go. the first we went in was like this Edgar Allan Poe like haunted house, but I have never been in a haunted house before because they terrify me. So my way of dealing with it was to talk to the scary people, and every time like they jumped out at me, I was like Godzilla, and I just like made fun of them the entire time. It was the most ridiculous thing ever, but I made it through 3 dumb haunted houses.
Oh man.
Yeah, it
So
was.
have you been to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland? That's not that scary.
Yeah, well, and especially at Christmas time because they turn it into Nightmare Before Christmas. See, I like cute, creepy, I guess, or zombies. Like zombies are
Cute, creepy, or zombies?
monster movies, like Frankenstein and Dracula and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
I love. I love like those types of things, like Dark Shadows, like Tim Burton, that kind of monster stuff. But if it's like Saw, I can't. I just can't. Or like The Purge, I'm just like, nope, can't, will
I
not.
loved both of those movies. And not only did I like both of them, like I watched all 7 Saw movies at the
Yep.
cinemas.
Yep. It's so funny. It's like I have this friend who is like the most girliest like girlfriend that I have, and she's like super soft spoken and just like totally like you would never think. And we were like talking about our favorite movies, and she was like, "I love the Saw movies," and I was like, well, no, like I should like it's just so
You
funny
can
how
you
people
don't
love
see, yeah. Some people are really unassuming, but I love being scared. Like if it's a controlled, safe scared. Like if I know I'm watching a movie, I'm like, well, it's a movie. So, yeah, like I loved the new Evil Dead, the Conjuring, the Saw movies. I love them all. Like, yeah, but I love horror comics too, and so I think I've been on a little bit of a horror comic binge since Outcast Volume 1. I'm like, I like this. I want more of this.
it.
So yeah, so I read Volume 1 and 2 of Nailbiter, which is really good.
I need to read
Um,
them.
yeah, they're good. I think you'll like them though because they're not scary so much as they're creepy, and I think that's the difference with horror comics is they're not often. I've never read one and been scared. It's more just like, wow, that idea's messed up. That's creepy. Like,
Yeah. That's a
yeah.
good
So it's a different.
example. What is this like? Is there a comic that you have ever read, and comment below or tweet us, that has
Mhm.
like legitimately terrified you?
Yes, for
I would
me
like
it'd be anything with a clown. I'm not a fan of clowns.
Pirouette.
Let me see if we've got any comments. I haven't actually checked this yet.
You should read Pirouette. It's very
I
good.
did. Well, okay, I started. Did we talk about that? We didn't, did we?
I don't think we did
I
because
don't,
there's only 2 issues out, and I don't know what's going on with the other ones. But I ordered them, and I don't know.
what do you mean? Is there more issues already? No. You
No,
ordered
not.
them and they didn't arrive?
I like pre-ordered them, but they're
Oh,
not.
okay.
So I don't know when they're
Because
going to
they're
be
dark. No, they're not Dark Horse, are they? They're
off
independent?
now. Yeah.
Yeah. I sorry, Chris Vince. Oh, I want to answer that, but I want to finish this. So I read the first 2 issues of Pirouette, and oh my God, so good. Like
Yeah.
you kind of think everything's like, not quite right, and that she's having a hard time and that her family aren't accepting and all this kind of stuff. So for those who haven't read Pirouette, probably should take a step back. It's about like a little girl who grows up in the circus and she's a clown, but she wants more than anything to be like the trapeze artist. And she's awesome at it. She's really talented, but they keep putting her back in a box basically and saying, no, you're just a clown. So, you know,
Literally, they put her literally lock her in a box.
yeah, actually that was just not really a metaphor in the end, was it? That's
Yeah,
very literal. They lock
literally.
her in a cage.
I
That's where it
like.
starts to get dark.
Yeah.
And
And then,
her father
also,
beats her,
so,
right?
yeah, and so when you read that, did you get? Because when he takes his belt off, I
Mm.
feel like it's implied that yeah he beats her, but there also might
Hmm.
be some abuse involved.
Oh, I think that's very much where your previous experiences potentially like really shape how you see it. I used
Yeah,
to get the strap as a kid. My dad used to like take the belt off and like my dad was that guy where he
yeah.
would like belt you. If we were really bad, yeah, we would get like a hiding. So that's what came to my mind. But now that you say it, I'm like, that's very plausible. But
Because
I didn't
it says
yeah.
somewhere in like the narrative, she's like, he like the he takes the bell off for like two reasons. I think I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well if it's
Readily available, so I can't check right now. I need to read it.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, fantastic comics.
so
And then
good.
the end of the second issue, without spoiling anything, I was just like, it was already kind of dark, and then it took it to a new place, like
Yeah.
with a new kind of angle, and I'm like, holy shit. And then it finished. And then we haven't seen issue 3 for like, it's at least been a month and a half, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you guys all need to order it, and then they will be like, "Hey, more people are reading this. We can put out the other ones." Because I only think there's going to be 4 issues. I think, but it's
I had
so
to,
hard
I
to be
had
good.
to like go to their website and directly do a digital purchase from the website. Like I remember it being a little bit of a thing that I
Yeah.
had to do,
Yeah.
but well worth the purchase.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Chris has asked us. Um, let me get the full question up. He said, "Video games have comics, Mass Effect, Street Fighter, etc. What video games would you like to see turned into a comic?"
BioShock.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm obsessed. That would be
Yeah,
such a cool moment.
I never played the first one, but I did play the second and the third.
How did you not play the first one? It's the best.
I know, because I tend to do that. But you know what? Like, I do, I just fail at stuff. But I loved the third one. Like, I
I
was
haven't
playing
played.
it.
I've heard it's real
Oh,
fun. Actually, I've heard
yeah.
I've heard both things. I've heard people either really liked it or they
Mm.
didn't because it doesn't follow the same format as the first two so much.
Which is probably exactly why, like, 'cause, okay, so I played them out of order. So I
Uh huh.
played the third one, then the second one, and I haven't played the first one. So I was doing it backwards. But when I was playing the third one, because I didn't have that storyline uh, issue, um, I was playing it and I was like, it was just after I finished playing The Last of Us, which if I was going to turn a game into a comic, it would be The Last of Us. It's so fucking good. But Bioshock Infinite, I played straight after and I was like, The Last of Us is a beautiful game, like just stunning visually. Like it plays like a movie. It's so beautiful. And then Bioshock Infinite, I was like playing and I was just like in shock at how beautiful, like this whole world is even more gorgeous, if that's possible. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like scared, but at the same time, I'm like having the best time of my life because it's like first player shooter. So you're like shooting things up and you're like trying not to die, but at the same time, you're like, it's so pretty. It's really, it's such a good game. It's such a good game. And it's like that real, like, it's like that real, I want to say like steampunk kind of vibe about it
Yeah.
because they've got like Abraham Lincoln. I think they're Abraham Lincoln type. God, I'm gonna sound like the worst person, but I'm not American, so forgive me.
You get a
But
pass.
I didn't learn American history, okay? So I'm thinking it's him. They got like these patriot type. I don't know. They kind of remind me of like that era, like Abraham Lincoln era, where
Yeah.
they're like these huge patriot robot type things, and they got the flags out there, like out the back of them, and they're like coming at you with these like big circular, I don't know, these types of machine guns, and they just come at you and they're like they're hard to destroy, but they're just like, it's so cool. It's such a cool game.
That's
I really
awesome.
enjoy it. Yeah, yeah, it's really good. Mm.
I had to borrow the first two.
Oh
So
really?
yeah, my friends let me borrow them, so I don't actually own them. So I need to. I wonder if they have like a 3-pack with them at Best Buy or something. I bet they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. Yeah. um yeah, it's a good game, good series. That would make a cool comic because it's a good storyline behind it too.
Yeah. I think probably because the other video games I've played are comic book games, like the Arkham games, the Deadpool game. Look, maybe Red Dead Redemption would be a good game. Or a good
Oh,
comic.
I like Red Dead Redemption. Yeah.
Or the Undead
Chris
one.
just said The Last of Us is already a comic. What? Chris
Yeah.
just sent me that. What?
Yes, I do. Because last year at WonderCon, they had. I thought it was just an art book. They had like an art book of it, but yes,
Yeah, I
they
saw
do have
that. Yeah.
comics. Yeah, I forgot about
This is
that.
an actual comic. Oh man, you just cost me money, Chris. Thanks.
Shut up and
Son of
take my money.
Yeah, I
I
know,
need to
right?
get a PS4 so I can play it because it's not on
You
Xbox.
need to get a PS4 so you can add me and play with me. Like,
And then we can
fun.
do live gaming videos on here somehow, perhaps, maybe.
Yes. Although
Yeah,
people probably don't want to see me play because I'm not good. Like, by my own admission, I'm horrible at it. I just got Dying Light last week, which is like a zombie game.
I saw
And
your you tweeted that or something.
oh, it's so good. So like you play like so it kind of reminds me, it's got a Walking Dead-esque thing to it, but it's definitely more horror.
Yeah.
So it is like, it is post-apocalyptic times, and the zombies are loose, and you've got like these communities that, so they're already established communities where they're like gated in and they've got safe zones. And you've just joined this safe zone with this community, and basically you have to prove yourself a little bit. So you go on missions, and like one of the missions is you need to go out, you know, go out during the daytime when it's a little bit safer, and like set these traps for nighttime to protect the community. So you go and do that. That's like the first mission. So you go out, and like they say it's a little bit safer. Like there are zombies freaking everywhere, and you're like, fuck. And so like you're trying to set these traps, and then when it's nighttime, shit gets real. Like their faces like almost like dislocate, and there's like it's yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
yeah, it's so cool. But like me playing games is so girly. I'm not a girly girl, but when I play when I play video games, I become that girl because I start screaming. Like if it's scary, I'm like screaming and carrying on, and I can't deal with life. So it's just because the graphics are so real now, and you get so absorbed and you're part of the game. It's different to horror movies. Horror
Yeah.
movies, I can be a spectator, but I'm not a spectator when I'm playing it. I'm actually part of it now.
Oh my gosh. See, and when I play
Yeah.
video games, I get super into it, but
Mhm.
I just talk to the game the entire time. Like I was playing Dishonored, and at one point, I don't even know what I did. I kind of button mashed because there was just a bunch of dudes like, and I was like, oh no. So like I like cut this dude's head off, and then I like had it on my sword, and I'm like, really have a head on a stick right now. And it was like the best thing ever. And I just kept laughing. And I'm like, I walked past my apartment. Like, they would think I was a crazy person because I'm just like laughing hysterically. Saying, I have a head on a stick. On my
That's awesome.
like,
That's awesome. No, I tend to do that too, but I'm more yelling at my TV. I'm not calm
no, it took
or
me.
rational.
Yeah, no, I played the Walking Dead Survival Instant game, which is the game that has Daryl and Merle in it. It took
Mm.
forever to beat it because I would just get real tired of killing zombies. Like I would be like, why? Like I don't want to kill walkers anymore. Like I just don't want it. Uh, but it was one of those games where like, because like you can't like get to a save point and then turn the game off. You have to like start the whole level
Yep.
over. So there's a hospital level, and it took me so long. And I think I almost broke one of my Xbox controllers because I kept throwing it down and just being like, no! And then I was like listening, I was like trying so hard to beat this level. Like I put on Metallica and I was like, I just have to listen to angry music, but I have to beat this level. I
You
finally,
had game rage.
but I have, yeah. When I was a kid and I had my Game Boy Color, Zelda. My Game Boy like got thrown into the wall a
Mm.
bunch of times. I'm surprised it still works. Because I still have it. But yeah, and there's like on it, there's like paint. Like you can see like white streaks of paint from when I threw it at the wall. He was like,
Like it's transferred onto it.
Yeah, she'd be like, if you can't play nice with your toys, like, you don't get them anymore. And I'd be like, but it's,
Oh man.
yeah,
I feel like my PlayStation copped that a lot over the years. Like I had a Nintendo, then a Super Nintendo, then a PlayStation. And then I think we eventually got PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3,
yeah,
PlayStation 4. So I
yeah,
kind of gone the PlayStation route. But yeah, I had an Xbox for a little bit and I played it like 3 times and I'm like, can't do. So
yeah,
yeah, so I've gone the PlayStation route, but I do enjoy games. I don't have a lot of time these days I find to watch them, or sorry, to play them because I'm watching things, I'm reading comics. My weekend is really busy, like with a lot of this stuff that we do, like, these types of things, the radio shows, the podcasts,
yeah,
YouTube videos, and things like that. So when I play, I just kind of want to lock myself away for like hours on end and just really like devote myself to them.
yeah,
And I don't have that time. And then after work, if I want to play a game, which I've kind of been doing a little bit this week, I lose track of time and then I've lost the whole night. So that's
exactly.
depressing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I think the only games that I have to marathon are the
Hmm.
Arkham games because if I don't, then it's because of spoilers. Because I know that the minute since we're in like the comic book community, it's like everybody, if you're a video gamer or a gamer, you're gonna like
Hmm.
play the games, and they're always gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe like at the end like this villain was in there," and I'm like, "No!" So I have to
Yeah.
like, I get them the second, no, the last one, which I have it. What is it? Just Arkham Origins is the
Oh
last one, and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
Injustice I did the same thing. I got them both at midnight, and then like went home and played them and tried to beat them. And Arkham Origins it took me about a day and a half, but I finally did it. And it's because I
That's
couldn't
really good.
get out the dumb glue gun. Like I was stuck in the
Yes.
level, and I'm like, okay, like here's my thing with Batman. Why can't he swim? Like you are Batman. You can
You
swim.
should have the technology to do what you want.
Yes. Instead of using a glue gun to make rafts, and I was stuck because I could not figure out how to cross a stupid river. So I had to go
Oh
on
man, I remember that part. I remember that part.
and I had to go on YouTube and like watch somebody beat that level, and I was like, I hate doing that. I hate when I have to like cheat.
Yeah.
I feel like a
Yeah.
failure at life. I'm like I'm a
Yeah.
horrible gamer. I shouldn't have like the ability to play games anymore because I use the cheat code.
I know. I've had to do that with a few games where I'm just like, I've been sitting there for 20, 30 minutes trying to figure it out, and clearly there's something that I'm not getting. And then I look at something and I'm like, ah, it was right in front of me the whole time. And then I just feel stupid. I'm like, I'm just not. I should never really call myself a gamer. Like, I love playing video games, but I'm not good at them. Like,
Yeah,
I know I'm not good at them.
yeah.
I just enjoy them for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me playing Call of Duty, like if you enjoy hilarious things, you will probably think it's like the funniest thing ever. If you're a
Yeah.
serious hardcore gamer, you probably think I'm the worst human in life because I can't shoot for shit. It's like it's horrible, and I'm just like I'll be playing with my friend, and I'll just like spin in the air, shooting at into the air, and then I sing from that the movie Elf, where he goes, "I'm singing
I
and I'm singing." I go, "I'm spinning and I'm shooting a gun and I'm spinning." My friends are like, can you not? Like, can you actually try and kill somebody?"
Yeah, like no, I'm doing my thing. I'm
Yeah,
living my life.
yeah.
I
I do that with Left 4 Dead too. Left 4 Dead is one of my favorite like games to play co-op or live
haven't
because
played that.
I don't know. I assume it's on PlayStation, but it's essentially like it's a zombie apocalypse game. But you have all these different types of zombies, and like you have hordes of them that like you and your team have to beat. But it's real fun, and it's always like there's 4 people that can play. And so my friend and I will like I'll start a room or a campaign, and then like it's always fun to see if we get cool random people playing with us or idiots who like try to shoot us. Like that is always the challenge when playing live. You
Oh
either get
man.
people or idiots. And then you have to
Yeah, that's the danger with anything online though, isn't it?
That is very true. That is very true. Yes.
Just in general, that's the danger.
Yes.
Man,
Very.
all right. So I don't think. Hang on. Oh, hang on. All right. So let's have a look. Go to question. I think we got. Oh, yeah. I'd like to see this Last of Us turn into a comic. Well, we know it is now. That's exciting. I'm just trying to see if we got any other comments. I don't think we do yet. Although Craig's tweeted out. That's cool. Um, so one thing we probably should talk about, and I'm thinking, because we don't have any questions pending, so I'm thinking, it's probably a good time to talk about, you already know
I know.
that Batgirl variant again. It's the topic that doesn't go away. It's you think it's done, you think it's over, and it's not over, and it's it's frustrating. But I was like really, I would say disappointed. I was like a little bit a little bit upset when people were like, "You and Stacy are fighting." I'm like, "We're not fighting. Like we're perfectly fine. Like
I know.
nothing wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with Stacy and I. We're solid. We just don't agree on the subject. So, well, not the subject, but there are aspects of it we don't agree on." And I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't mean that we can't disagree on something and still be friends. Like, I don't understand these people that just think that because you don't agree with someone about something that all of a sudden you can't be friends anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I,
yeah,
yeah, it was insane because everybody was like, I don't know, and I'm like, we're like, this doesn't
yeah,
like I'm sure there will be a lot of times that we don't agree on something, but we have like, and I think for the two of us, like we have really valid points. Like you had very valid points
yeah,
in your video, and then you said I
yeah,
had
so
very
did you.
mine. So it's like we complement each other in the way that we present our arguments, and then we
Yep,
can come together and respectfully agree to disagree, and then we can talk about it like normal humans. Like, and
that's
maybe
it.
like people haven't seen that before in this community, like two people that don't agree who still are really good friends and can like respectfully talk about it. I don't exactly know.
Look, we are nerds. It is a difficult thing because, we're passionate. That's the thing is when people are really like passionate about their viewpoints, um, it's hard for people to like not take things personally when someone disagrees, I guess. Um, that being said, I don't think I've taken any of it personally, but there are things that people have said that have absolutely enraged me. But no, nothing that you've said, or nothing that even some of the other YouTube girls or guys have said, but I've seen comments in my timeline. And these are probably people that I don't really know too well, anyways. Um, and some of the things that people say, I'm just like, I don't. I know for a fact that some of these people don't even read comics or really aren't exposed to like really aren't involved in this community as much as they say they are. And I'm
Yeah,
not trying to start anything, that's not my intention, but if you don't know the character's story, if you don't know the character well, you can have an opinion, but I don't think you have the right to have that much of an opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like to be that vocal about it and to be saying things like um some of the things that people have been saying, I just think are completely out of line. I think in first instance they're incorrect, but I think also the fact that they have no historical context about the character to even understand what it is that they're saying and how wrong it is. Like that was what was getting under my skin the most, and I was like to the point where on the Saturday night, my time, I think it was. So I think it's like a Friday.
yeah, because I was out with friends. I was out at a bar, and
That's
I was
right.
like, I'm really glad I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, you're like, show me the picture. Um, yeah, so it was a Saturday night here, and I was talking to a friend when it had all happened, and actually started talking to a friend after it happened because I was like, I need a vent, and
Yeah,
because I was so annoyed, like I had spent like I think I found out about it like at 2 o'clock on a Saturday, 2 p.m. on a Saturday, and I was just minding my own business, getting my day done, and then someone goes, "Have you seen this picture?" I'm like, "Oh, no." And then they're like, "What do you think of it?" I'm like, "It's fine. Like, it's a Killing Joke homage, quite clearly." And someone said, "Oh, this person's saying it promotes rape and it's promoting this and it's promoting that." I'm like, I have probably like really extreme views on the other end of it because I'm like, unless this dude is standing there with his thumbs up saying try rape, it's great. It's not really promoting rape. Like, not one single image is going to make someone see it and go out and go, I'm going to rape someone. Like, it
Right.
doesn't promote rape.
You're right.
It's a provocative picture. It
Yeah.
is a picture that certainly is disturbing to some and certainly might provoke feelings or emotions in people. Absolutely, definitely. And I don't discount that. I don't ignore what people are saying about it. I understand that. Um, but I also just think these people saying it's promoting this. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't talk about it in my video on purpose because I'm like, it makes me mad, and I'm like, I don't. People don't want to see that side of me because I get even rantier and angrier than normal. So I'm like,
Your video
ain't no
was
one got time for that.
yeah. Yeah, no, and I do, and it was funny because I made that video that night, and I almost was like I maybe should have waited a day so then because I was just like all like bleh. But I think my whole thing on it is just like I get that it's like it's a variant cover, so you don't have to buy it, but at the
Mm,
same time it's like all the other variants were a certain way, and then this one was totally different, so it's
completely.
it
Yeah.
was completely different. And it's like, if you want to do a cover like that, if that's going to be the story that that's going to be written in it, like I feel like if that cover was done under Gail Simone's run, I would not have an issue with it because I feel like that meant that I just went with the tone of Gail's run because she was dealing with the
Yeah.
PTSD, and I just think it would have been it would have made sense. And I
Yeah, it was
just
definitely a darker run.
yeah, very dark. And so for this one, it was just kind of like adding insult to injury for me, I think, because it's like this new creative team comes along, they want a lighter, fun Barbara, whereas I like gritty, dark Barbara. And then this cover comes out, and I'm like, this is so inconsistent. I think that's what
Yeah.
essentially made
Yeah.
me really mad about it, was just the inconsistency on it. But no, and then like I kind of in my video was like, talking about like I don't particularly in superhero stories like when rape is
Hmm.
involved because it is very it's like superheroes, but in independence I don't mind it as long as it serves the story and it serves the characters because I think when
Yeah.
you think of superheroes, and we talked about this on our podcast, like you
Mm.
see them in a different light and you see them as like it's just different, you know
They're a
what I mean.
little bit like indestructible, aren't they?
In a way, and I feel like I feel like Gail just so like Barbara's already like she's dealt with everything that happened in the Killing Joke. So I was just like, I don't think that they need to bring it up again. But I mean, the artist decided to pull it, and I think that at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think it should have been pulled. I think
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
sad that he was kind of like bullied into pulling it. I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with like people who are like bring it back, because at the end of the day, like that was his decision, and I think
Sure.
that we should respect that and just be like,
Yeah.
it's done, and it's
Which is, yeah, let it rest. Which is
yeah,
like, I mean, I'm very disappointed that it was pulled, but I haven't asked for it to come back either because at the same time, that's what he said. I also think that he definitely was bullied into it, and that's probably why I'm disappointed the most because I'm like, um, I look at it completely from a side of this is a piece of art that someone's created. That if you went into a gallery, if you went to a museum or a gallery and you saw a piece of art someone had created that was provocative or that caused you to feel a certain way, you wouldn't ask them to take it off the wall, right?
yeah,
So these people that are just like, you need to ban the cover, like you wouldn't do that if you walked into a museum. I understand that comics are a different medium, and I understand that there's complexity, and I understand people will take offense to different things. But at the end of the day, an illustration is done. That artist is an artist. Like, he's done his work. He's drawn it as a piece of art, and to have people discount it and um, say some pretty horrible things about it, to be honest. Like, you
It's a
know,
scam.
you
Like,
were super respectful, but like there are a lot of people that were not
right.
respectful.
Yeah, and like my whole thing is like there was bullies on both sides, and then and
Oh
then
yeah, definitely.
yeah, and then I think once like the really extreme, female hating people got in, then I kind of that's when I disabled my comments on my video and kind of and I was like I'm done with this because I don't want any
Yeah.
part of that. But yeah, I do agree. I was going to say something and now I don't, and it was like I don't remember what I was going to say. I had there was like a thought right here, and it's like went
It
away.
may just come back to you
It's
like all
going to
segued.
come
You're
back
like,
to
that's
me.
what it was.
'Cause, yeah, I
I
was
know that it made both of our YouTubes explode. Like that was a little bit intense.
yeah. I seriously
I
don't remember.
wasn't. It's bothering you. I can
It's
see mine's
bothering me.
ticking
Like what?
away.
Like what was I going to say? I feel like it was a very valid point, and now I don't remember.
Mm,
I remember. I think that people are also forgetting that cover, and some I forget who told me this, but I think it was on. He had originally done a different cover,
hmm
and editors like vetoed that, and they're like, no, make it darker. So I think that instead of, and nobody should be attacked, but I
Yeah.
think that it should have the editing or the editors or marketing should have done a better job at really like thinking like playing devil's advocate, I guess, and being like, hey, like
Yeah.
this is a cool piece of art, but then thinking, what about the other side of this? Like, would there be more
And
negative
yeah,
or positive to this? And I don't think that discussion was had, and I think that is probably like that could have saved so much time and
so
energy.
much trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I kind of wonder how much they've kind of put the illustrator under the bus now because they're like, make it darker, do this, do that to it. And now, like, DC aren't necessarily the ones copying all the flack about this. The artist is. He's
right,
directly getting tweeted horrible things
and that's
from people. And he was doing what he was asked.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, and
So
yeah, I don't like any time that I don't like bullies, and I don't like any
I don't
time
like bullies either. Yeah.
that, and that's yeah, and that's kind of how I got on I think both of our videos. I think people in the comments kind of started to get really. It's funny. It's like when there's a hot topic issue, like people can't. I don't know why, but it's like people can't like take themselves out of it for a minute and just have like
No.
a respectful thing. Because then if I don't agree, like I will respond if I think your comments are very ignorant with hilariousness. Like that's just how I cope with drama. Because I honestly don't care. Like I mean, you have your opinion, and like that's totally awesome. But if you're just gonna like bash me for mine, then I'm not gonna care at that point. So
hmm
I say that, and that's so then a lot of people got really mad when I started saying David Hasselhoff, and they're like, "Why can't we have a respectful conversation?" And I'm like, "How is you telling me that I'm just wrong and like going about it in a real weird way, respectful?" Like,
Yeah, that's exactly
all
it.
right.
And that's the thing is like, yeah, there's been definitely people on both sides that have been extremely out of line, I want to say. And that's like, even in my video, I was like, guys, be respectful and not even just of me, but of each other. Like, don't
Yeah,
bash people for having an opinion. We're all adults. We can all agree to disagree. We can all have our piece. We can all have our say, but just um, don't don't pick on people for doing that. And even the people that I was seeing in my timeline where I knew that what they were saying was so wrong. I didn't say anything to them about it. I didn't call them out on it. I just let it go. But I felt like I was defending myself for, it was like from 2 p.m. We did the radio show that night at 4 p.m. till 6, and then through to midnight. So from 2 till midnight. Like it was like a 10-hour slog of just
uh,
feeling like people were tweeting me their opinions, whether they agreed or disagreed, or there was like, I was like tagged into something and the conversation kept going and going and going and going. And I was like, and it was okay, but I was just like, I had a major headache from it in the end. I was just like, you know, when you just get to the point, you're just like, I'm sick of it. I'm
We
done.
both did. I remember that because I was like, we
Yeah,
were both like so done about it.
so
We were
done.
just like, I
I
just
was
need
like,
out. But you had to
and I
talk about
cracked
it on
it.
the radio show. I remember that, and I was like, poor Mel, because it
Yeah,
was
and it was so fresh.
because Craig wanted to do the podcast, and I'm like, I'm leaving that up to Mel because I wouldn't have minded, but at the same time, I just knew that you'd been kind of through the ringer, and I don't know why
Yeah.
because I didn't even get that much, like on Twitter at least, I didn't get that much flack for my, but I feel like I don't know, so I guess you got more of that
I
on
feel
Twitter.
like I had more flack on Twitter and more support on YouTube, and I feel like it was probably the other way around for you. You got more support on Twitter, and
Okay.
yeah, so it was
Huh.
that's why that's very much so why when I filmed my video, I was like, I understand that my opinion is not popular because in my little bubble on Twitter, that was my experience, that I was like outnumbered quite clearly. And I was like, I still want my opinion to be heard, but I just want this to be it, you know? I want it to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, and that's funny because mine was the opposite. I think people agree with you more on Twitter. I mean, on
Yeah.
YouTube, and then they agreed with me more on Twitter, which is very strange. But I think at the end of the day, we can all agree that this is just a giant headache, and it's over and done with, and there will be
Yeah.
and then like you said, why aren't people more upset about Batman being like the Tick? Like it's like
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm robot Tick man.
Guys, there are real issues out there to be upset about, and that cover is not one of them. Like, let's get upset about Batman looking like the Tick, because
Because
that's an issue.
and that's going to be on the cover now because I don't think they're going to do a variant cover for Batgirl. So you guys all get stuck with Batman. That's the Tick and the new
Actually, that is like the biggest troll move ever. They're like, okay, they don't want the variant. I'll give them something to complain about. The
Batman.
Tick. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, do we have any
Yes.
more questions?
I think we had some comments on
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
the YouTube page, but I haven't refreshed it in a little bit.
go for it and let's do that 'cause I have to be
Apparently the screen is fixed on me. Is that still the case?
oh.
Thought it was just me. Oh, why is the screen just fixed on me? That was an hour ago, though.
Maybe
That's
this
awkward, guys.
hangout has been just you.
Really? Stop it.
I don't know.
No way. All
I
right, let
don't.
me have a look.
There's me. I don't. I think because I clicked on you.
Yeah.
Is it me now? Well, I think it's like done.
It's been an hour of me just talking at the screen. I think they can hear us
Well,
both.
all right. Sorry, guys. That is my bad.
Can they see you now, Stace?
I don't know. It says I'm presenting to everyone. I don't know what that means. Oh my
The
gosh.
camera's working because I can see you. I can see you just fine. I've been looking at you this whole time.
Yeah.
That's why. Oh, man.
Don't
All
know.
right, let's have a look.
Can they see me now? You guys? I mean.
I don't know. I'm having a look at the other comments to see if there's.
How funny. I was messing around with the settings earlier, so I must have just totally like messed it up.
Oh, Stacy. That's all right. Look, at least they can see something, but I don't know that you guys all want it to be me. That's not really cool.
Oh,
um,
I don't know.
that was an hour ago, and then 45 minutes ago. Nope, not just you. Oh man. All right, let me
Oop.
just try and play the show now. I'm just gonna try and stream it in my ear.
Yeah, and see.
It seriously is just me, Stacy.
How do we make it?
I think it.
How weird.
I don't know if it is now though. Hang on. They can hear us both talking, so they can hear us, but yeah, it just stays on me. Oh man.
It's the Batgirl show.
It's the
With
Batgirl show with Holy Batgirl featuring Stacey Sholes.
oh my gosh, that's funny. Well,
I don't know how to like. I'm gonna sound like my nana now. Like, I just want it to be like current and live. So now,
this is gonna
here
be
we go.
like our
Oh
videos.
wait, they can see you now, Stacey. They can see you
Okay.
now.
Hi guys.
I just moved the video like right to the very end, and whatever you just pushed before worked.
Okay.
Oh man. Well, you should wave to everyone now that they can see you.
Hi guys.
Oh, that's horrible. It wasn't even like down in the bottom corner or anything.
Oh man.
Like
So
nothing.
how funny.
So it's just me
Oh,
talking to my friend in my ear.
oh well.
That's
I
funny.
mean, that's hilarious.
That explains why the numbers were low today. They're like, we want Stacy. Watch them now. They're like, whoop.
Yet, who has almost reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Ah, stuff it. You just reached
Oh,
400 as well. It's been a milestone week,
it
hasn't it?
has. I know.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Where am I sitting at the moment? I don't even know. I'm at like my channel. Where are we at?
I keep looking. I'm like, we made it to
960.
1,000. Wow.
Yeah, 960. So I'm doing a bunch of videos this weekend because I know I missed last weekend. It was really hot and I'm just not very good at planning. So I was like, it'll be fine. It was like hot. I'm not doing a video today. So, so this weekend I got a lot to do and hopefully that'll earn me some more people. And I think I need to do something pretty epic for 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. I don't.
Don't know
Yeah.
what.
I know. I don't know. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm gonna when I reach. I think. Well, I said whatever happens first. Whenever if I reach 500 subscribers or if I get a job, then there will be a contest. Because I wanted to do it for 4, but being jobless kind of made that
yeah,
not
I
happen.
know. I saved mine for 500 and 1,000. I figure I'm going to do mine in 500 lots because, aim high, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in 40 subscribers time, I need to cough up some money,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
could be soon.
I know. I'm gonna be so excited when I see that you've hit it. It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna throw
It's
you a
going to be
party.
awesome.
I know.
Yeah,
How,
but no, like, we'll have my party and then we'll have your party not long after because you'll be at 500. So,
yeah, that's true.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot
Aw.
of good things happening at the minute.
There is, yes, and I
Mm.
wish I could talk about my awesome news, but I can't yet.
You're
So
not allowed to, right? That's why I didn't ask you. I was like, I don't think that you're allowed to talk about this, so
but there will be. I'm sure there will be a special Batgirl show. If the thing that I think is going to happen actually happens. That's all we're gonna say.
yeah, yeah. As soon as you're allowed to talk about it.
I know. We're gonna end this episode like which has ended, where I'm just gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Boom. We have any more comments that aren't just why is it only Mel's face for now?
That's that's the worst part of it. Like,
That was it.
you poor guys, you poor guys. That's horrible.
That's so funny.
We did get some comments apart from the fact that people were just seeing my face.
Yeah,
Um, I'll address those complaints later.
yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, so we got told Witches is going to be a movie. So a couple of people advised us of that, which is, I don't know, we'll wait and see. I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Chris has got the first Batgirl to read, and if it's not good, we will be in trouble.
Seems to me that this is like the general comment that is made whenever somebody picks up Batgirl for the first time. It's that if they don't like it, we're in trouble.
And I kind of feel like pointing out at this time, I didn't write it, so
We just happen to love Gail Simone.
we are the fan club. It's true.
We are the fans, yes.
Yeah. Daredevil on Netflix in April.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't know if that'll be for Australia though, because let's face it, we get nothing.
No, no. My friend actually
Um,
worked on the opening titles for that. So, if anything, I have to
oh
at least
really?
opening titles. Yeah. At the old company I interned at, they did the titles for it. So, and he was on it, and I'm like, that's awesome. And he was like, it was like super like top secret. Like DC is weird, or no, I guess it's Marvel. Marvel's weird
Marvel. Yeah,
about
Marvel. Yeah,
it.
yeah. They've got to keep their stuff to themselves so DC don't find out about it.
Yeah.
Mel, please don't be mean to Sherlock. I wasn't mean. I just am saying that I need like a week to watch it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where I'm not working like a full week.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
commitment. Like I mean, it definitely it's like watching 3 movies in one day. I did it,
I'm not
but
good with commitment in general, let alone like.
I know.
That's not true.
Yeah.
um, there's a great Turtles documentary on Netflix where they talk about how the Turtles started. I don't know if that's in Australia again. Like, you guys are making me sad right now because all of the Netflix comments about what you can watch. I can't watch any of that, all right? I'm lucky to have a few movies at the minute.
Yeah. But you have Orange is the New Black and Walking Dead,
I
and that's
do.
all that matters.
Pretty much my life is complete, right? At this point.
Yeah.
Um, Thanos versus Hulk and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles slash Ghostbusters terrified me as they were so bad. Bad as in horrible, I'm guessing. Thank
Yeah.
God only 4 issues. That was Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Um, are you looking forward to the spin-off show? That says Fearing the Walking Dead, but I'm thinking that means featuring or spin-off show from The Walking Dead. That's a Stacy question for
It was
sure.
a easy question. I have a friend who perhaps is working on it. So again, I'm going to watch it to support her. I don't know how I feel about it at the moment because I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot because it is Walking Dead and it is Kirkman and it's place in LA, so I'll probably be like, I drive by there all the time. And then this way, maybe this is a good show for me to watch to then like plan out my zombie apocalypse plan since I do live in LA. So I'll be like, okay, like this is the place to go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'll answer this. I'm gonna give it a shot. But
You could be pleasantly surprised.
I could be pleasantly surprised, and as long as I care about the characters, I will like it. That's really for me. That's all it takes for me to get into a show. If there's at least one character that I love, I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't care, I'll probably give it because I mean it took me a season and an episode to get into The Walking Dead. So I'll probably give it a season and an episode and see. So
I'll
yeah,
watch it
yeah,
if
yeah,
and when we get it out here.
yeah. Yeah, because I think
Although,
it's a summer show. I think it's like, isn't it taking place during the hiatus of Walking Dead? Well, then yes, I will because Walking Dead actually won't be on. So yes, I will have to occupy my
you'll
time.
get your fix in that 5 months.
Yeah,
Which is interesting because, like, The Walking Dead is like one of the shows we do get not at the same time, but pretty much like a few hours after the US.
yeah.
So
Good. I think because spoilers, like they're not gonna like leave because you guys would just. I mean, you would never. Why watch it at that point if you like had to wait a month? Like you could never go on the internet, like ever.
yeah, and that's the issue that we have in this country in general. So, like Gotham, for instance, is on here 3 weeks behind the US, and yeah, weeks.
Wow.
I'm like, so, and
Yeah.
not that I would ever encourage this type of behavior, and that's certainly not where I'm coming from, but you can understand why people do try and like illegally gain TV shows living in this country. Because, like, if you're big on Twitter or like, social media in general, and people are talking about it, you want to be able to get the shows.
Yeah. Very true.
It's a shame, but
Yeah.
that's that's how we roll. I think let's have a look. I think there was some other things said up here. Chris just says, hello, ladies. Hope you're both doing good. We are.
Yes.
Bioshock would be an awesome comic. Andrew Ryan would be the best antagonist ever in a comic, but it has to be done right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Um, Image and Dark Horse are doing great stuff. Are you guys getting many indie titles? Great show. Thanks.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah. The majority of what I pull is independent, and with like one or two Marvel and DC titles. So yeah, I pull mostly,
yeah.
and mostly.
I'm heading that way too. I'm definitely heading in that
Yeah.
direction as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like as I get older, but just my taste in comics have completely changed. Because I'm discovering new writers that I really like. So that's how I tend to go. I don't typically follow characters. I follow writers. So like right now I'm
Yeah.
getting super into Ed Brubaker and Garth Ennis. Those are like the two guys that I'm currently like I must read everything that they've done. So yeah.
That's true, isn't it? Like when you find a comic writer or illustrator that you really like, you can become a little bit fixated on them or a little bit obsessed, and then you
Yeah.
want to read everything in the collection that they've done.
Yeah.
I do that. Scott
Well,
Snyder.
Gail Simone and yeah, Scott Snyder's another one, and Kirkman.
Yeah.
And Greg Rucka as well. Like anybody that, and I didn't realize that Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka did Gotham Central. Like
I own
I'm
Gotham
like
Central. Yeah, it's good.
I did not know that, and my friend was like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need that in my life, like at the moment.
Yeah, I think I've got the first 2 volumes, and
Yeah.
I keep wanting to buy the third and fourth, and I see them everywhere, but I don't see them in hardcover, which is the first 2 that I've got. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit weird, right? So if I buy a series and I start to buy it a certain way, then I want the others in the same.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
We've
so
all heard my Walking Dead story. That's why I have
yeah,
all.
yeah, like yeah,
Yeah,
you get it, you
I
get
do.
it. So
I
I
do.
don't know if I can't find hardcovers of volume 3 and 4, like which so far I haven't. So I think I might just have to buy all of them in trade paperback format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
But it's real, like so far it's really good. It's a super
That's
good series.
awesome.
Yeah, I think you'd like it actually. It's like very,
Yeah.
it's a cop-driven sort of
Well, my friend is like, it's
story.
what Gotham, the TV show, should have been, or what she thought it was going to be. Like, where like Batman's
I
kind of
thought
like
so too.
seen as the villain, and because Gotham is not
Yeah,
like that, she doesn't like it as much, which I understand.
yeah,
So yeah, it's definitely on my need to get or my wish list, I guess, because I put everything
yeah.
on Amazon wish list, and then I'm like, I will buy this when I have a job. Yeah,
Amazon's such a sore point for me because postage is
I
not
know.
cool. Yeah, you do know. Postage is
It
not
wasn't,
cool to
but
Australia.
because I have Amazon Prime, like sending you that. Oh, and there's something else coming for you, by the way.
Stop it! What are you doing?
Well, I ordered it at the same time, but I think because I ordered it for both of us, so we're both going to get them. So
You're so cute. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize there was something else.
there's
You
something
could.
else.
Oh man, you spoil
Yeah.
me.
Because I
That's
saw it
very
and I was
exciting.
like, well, I don't even have this, and I feel like the two of us, especially now after a recent conversation we had, I'm like, yeah, like this is awesome. So when you get
Oh
it,
man, okay.
you'll
What
know.
were we recently discussing? All of the things. That could be anything.
I know. That's why I'm safe to say that.
It's killing
You'll
me.
when you see it, you'll be like, "Yep."
It'll make sense, I'm sure.
It'll
I'll
make
be like, how did I not guess that?
yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. We don't get access to Amazon Prime out here either, I don't think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
There's a lot of things out
sending
here we don't.
yeah. So sending that stuff to you was like it wasn't that expensive at all. So
Oh, good, good. Okay,
you can
that
always
makes me feel a little bit better.
yeah yeah. So if there's something like that you like for you would be like super expensive that I can get super cheap on Amazon, like I can just order it for you. I know.
Ah, you're good. You're a good egg, Stacey Shoals.
I
Thank
like
you.
enabling my friends with their conversations.
I know, tell me about it, right? It is an addiction. At this
It
point,
is.
it's an addiction. It's far gone. But,
Yeah.
oh man, I was going to say something. It's gone. I'm going to do what you did earlier and be like, hmm.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's gone.
All right.
Um, Oh, wait, Independence. Yeah, Dark Horse. Lady Killer.
Yes, yes, Lady Killer is amazing. And the
Yep.
first
So,
issue is like it's sold like you can't get it anywhere. So I'm really glad it happened.
really?
No, and it's going for eBay. Like it's crazy how much that first issue is going for. I mean, at this point now, if you haven't jumped on it, you're just gonna have to wait for the trade. I'm sorry, because
Or if you're not afraid of digital, you can buy it on the Dark Horse app.
there you go.
So, yeah, that's my tip because at least you get it now. I,
Yeah,
I will definitely be buying the trade. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm getting that as well, but
it's that
every
good.
month it's so good. It's
It's
so good. Actually, issue four. Wait, issue four was out the other day. No, is that right?
no,
No. Okay.
it's coming
Next
out.
week.
I think next week. Yeah, and then there's only one more to go.
Yeah, which I'm actually really bummed about because
Me
that's
too.
a great series.
Hopefully they do. I hope it's like a Sin City thing, like where they do like a 5 issue thing and then another 5 issue thing, and then like they're just like short little things. Because it's so. I mean, I can't imagine that they would just stop there because it's so good.
Yeah, and I don't know that they were expecting the success that it's had. So given that it's had so much
Yeah,
support, maybe that changes things again.
because even the second printing of the first issue sold out. Like, I mean, it's people are like going crazy for it. So
Mm. And the covers themselves are collectible.
yeah,
They're beautiful.
I mean, her art, Jolie's art, is just.
Yeah,
There's people slamming doors in my
I heard
apartment.
that. I'm like, have you
You
got
hear
people
that?
living at your place? Yeah.
I had the mailman yelled at me yesterday. Well, I guess we could have this conversation off air. But the mailman yelled at me yesterday because he was like, you put the wrong like apartment like number on the box," and I'm like, "No," because he didn't. I guess he thought I had put apartment 9-8. I'm 9B, but I'm building 8. Like I'm like, no, dude. Like I know what I'm doing. And he's also the one
So
that
he's
he
trying to lecture you on where you live.
yeah, yes. I live in apartment 9B, kids.
You're gonna have people knocking on your door because they're like 9B Los Angeles. I know exactly where you live right now. Small
Yes.
place.
And I'm not afraid of anyone ever finding my place because even like the delivery people, like when I give them my specific address, they can't find it for shit. It's hilarious and a
Well,
little bit
clearly there's
aggravating.
a controversy between 9B and 9A.
Yeah, yeah. Like they don't understand like and it's ridiculous. Anyway, I feel like we've gone like way off topic now.
We have. This is regular for us.
This
But
is
we have gone way off topic.
yes. Are there any more comments?
Let's have a look. Let me
Or
refresh. Man, internet in Australia is slow as
oh,
balls.
I guess I
Um,
should. I could look.
it's loading.
Oh, it's going. Okay.
Yeah. Someone
My
said we can, but I don't. Oh, okay, we can, as in they can see you now. Because I was like, I don't know what that means.
internet.
No, but they can see you, so that's good.
All right. Hi,
It only
kids.
took
I'm
us an
glad
hour, Stace.
you guys. I know. I feel like we should go another hour, but I have to go somewhere at
You have
6.
to go out. I know.
Oh,
And that's soon approaching for you, so
it is. But we will do
that's
another one of these very like way sooner. Like
yeah.
than
Yeah, there
yeah.
won't be a month break. I think we just had
No,
a crazy few weeks.
and we will set it up so that you will see both of our faces equally. I feel so bad, but it's also kind of funny, and it kind of fits us. Like
And
the
it
first one would go
perfectly
really
fits
well, and
us.
then we come back, and like yeah,
It actually is us.
it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No,
Um,
we're not great with the tech.
but yeah,
Oh,
so I think unless there's any more comments that are like burning questions.
nope, there's no more burning questions that I can see. I'll just
All
double
right.
check here.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
We
As
had fun.
always, yeah, we did. As always, you can subscribe to this channel. You
Yep.
can subscribe to my channel, which is Stacy Pool S, and you
Hmm.
can subscribe to Mel's channel, which is Holy Batgirl. Help her get to 1,000 subscribers, because that's like so awesome.
Oh my
Um,
God, it's scary.
and then we could throw a party. There's,
Yeah, I would
there's
love that.
so much like commotion going on outside my apartment building right now. Like I'm a little bit scared. I feel like zombies are trying to get in. I don't know what's happening.
Jump out the window.
I know. I'm going. But yeah. So until our next episode, it's awkward sign out time. Bye guys.
See ya.